Hello, loyal listeners. Hello, Lennon.
I'm Lennon. I'm loyal listener, Lennon.
Oh, you're a loyal listener. I'm a loyal listener. Oh, fuck. Loyal listener. And we're continuing on our series of Does This Movie Still Hold Up? And we're finishing off the original trilogy of Star Wars. Now, Lennon.
Yeah.
Do you consider life good?
I think I do.
And do you know that someday you and everyone you love will die? Okay, because all good things must die, and that is the end. This trilogy is ending, so that's all I want to say.
Oh, that's where you would go.
All right, so I that was off the cuff, buddy. This story, Return of the Jedi. Luke Skywalker. Wait, is this Return of the Jedi? Yeah, the third one.
It is. What fucking movie are we talking about today?
I've watched the wrong one. No. Luke Skywalker and his allies set out to rescue Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt and lead the Rebel Alliance in a final assault against the Empire's new Death Star 2, bigger, badder, and uncut. As Luke confronts Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, he struggles to redeem his father and restore balance to the Force. That is, for anyone that hasn't seen this movie that's been out for longer than most people have been alive.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's just rip and tear. Let's just get into it. I'm thinking characters. I'm thinking the trio.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm loving Luke in this one.
Oh yeah, he's way better.
Luke, yeah. Well, okay. Let's look at the progression over the last three movies.
Luke's entered his emo phase.
Yeah, we've had whiny little boy, where his best strip was at the end of the movie. We've had, starting to get a bit more competent. Okay, I'm starting to like Luke in the second movie. He's still not got his best strip on. Maybe.
And he still doesn't have the power converters from Tosche Station.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this one, emo bad boy, I don't think he gives a fuck about power converters from Tosche Station.
He's got the black fingernails that, well, he probably doesn't, but the black gloves,
I think
we
you
don't
can
know.
see his hands.
He hasn't shown us his hands. One of them's fake,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know. This is my favorite Luke look and he's got it on through, effectively pretty much the whole movie. I think the whole movie.
Yeah.
This is a sick Luke look. But I'm just also happy that he's tactical in this. Like he's got a plan from the rip with all the Jabba stuff. He just seems like a capable Jedi Knight in this movie. And remembering this is before, if people were watching this when it came out, this before people saw, the prequel series. So this is the most capable Jedi Knight that you would have seen.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts what are your thoughts on our Skywalker laddie?
I guess springboarding off of what you're saying, I really don't have that much else to say. I mean, he's probably had the biggest character change out of this trilogy from Empire to this movie. You can feel the years between the movies when it comes to this character. He's going into Jabba's palace. He's fucking force choking that dude. Like he doesn't give a fuck, dude. He's a man on a mission, and his mission is basically just to, reunite with his daddy and turn him to the light, if you will. I think that his motivations are a lot more mature. It's like, rather than like, oh, I gotta learn the Force so I can take down the bad guys. It's more like, you know what? I sense conflict in my dad. I believe that there's still good in him, and he fucking stands. What's this? Well, yeah. You're the wind beneath my wings, Kim. But yeah, what about the other characters for you?
I sort of took the ball rolling with Luke. I want to hear your thoughts on the other Skywalker, on Leia.
Ooh, Leia. Well, it was interesting. I was listening to our conversation last week about how Yoda and Ben Kenobi are like, oh, well, there's another one. And then you said it was Leia. And I said, I'm pretty sure they're talking about Vader. But in this movie, they clearly, they're just like, you know what, fuck it. Leia's the other one that we're talking about here.
And I think maybe as much as I'm trying to watch these movies if it's for the first time, maybe my memory betrayed me and I just immediately assumed Leia watching the last movie.
Yeah.
So my bad.
Who knows, man? Who knows? But I don't think that Han and Leia and the other characters really get as much growth as Luke. Like, I'm really glad because Han really stole the show in the last two movies, and this is a story where Luke is the main character, really. And in this movie, it really puts Luke at the front and center. And the other characters are just like, they're just doing whatever the fuck. And
which I agree, it's needed.
Yeah.
It's definitely needed.
Even though Leia is just like, oh, I've always known you've been my brother, Luke. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You've always known? You've always known.
Actually, when she tells Han that Luke is her brother.
Oh,
I was trying to put together the family tree as I was saying that. You know when she tells her that Luke's her brother. I swear to God, for a second there, you can see Han remember that they kissed right
Yeah,
in front of him.
he's just like, huh?
And then he remembers it as, oh, sweet, but I'm getting this. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. Weird,
you know,
but
I'm just
let's
gonna.
continue.
My head hurts too much thinking about this. I'm just gonna keep just going forward. But yeah, okay. Well,
It's like the space equivalent of when your girlfriend says, "Oh, he's just my gay friend," but you've seen them kiss plenty of time.
yeah. There's nothing sexual going on. I swear. We're just good friends.
I will say one thing on Leia before we move on, though. I don't really have much to say about Han, except that carbonite freezing hangovers look horrible. I don't think I've ever had a weekend that big. I was blind.
Yeah.
The only thing I did want to say about Leia is, yes, I agree that the two side, the main trio, it's mainly Luke, which was needed, but I do feel like Leia's maybe a little bit more of an action role in this movie. Like, you know, she's taking a bit more charge when she's saving Han. She has that speeder bike chase later on Endor. I think she's a little bit more capable, I guess, in action wise, and we get to see her in a bikini, so that's pretty sick.
Is that the most important part for you?
Well, I don't. I had to counterbalance. I had to make her a strong woman antagonist before I said, "Oh, but I was oogling those babooglas." So, moving on.
This whole ambiguity around the brother-sister thing is kind of gross, but fucking look at Slave Leia, though.
She was, I even found this weird as a kid, upon rewatches obviously, but I found this weird as a kid. I guess maybe because like immaturity and like I wouldn't want to be pretty much naked in front of my siblings, but I've always found it weird that Leia was in that sexy ass bikini in front of her brother.
Yeah.
Anyway. Darth Vader. Let's get into the villains of this piece. We'll start with Darth, move on to the Emperor. What do you think of Darth Daddy in this one?
Oh, dude, so good. So
yeah.
This is the movie where he's just, I don't find him as like obviously intimidating or threatening as he is in the other movies. Like he really ramped up as the villain in the last movie, I felt like, where he was just like, I will stop at nothing to get what I need done. But this time he's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know? Like,
I mean, one thing on that, his intro scene is literally him going, "The Emperor is not as forgiving as I am." It's like, why are you dick riding the Emperor? And when have you ever been forgiving? Like, when you choke dudes out in meetings.
He's kind of like using the Emperor's name to get away with like middle management. He's just like, oh, well, the Emperor wants this done. It's just like, oh, you should have said so. But yeah, this is the side of Vader that I think we needed. And for the turn to be believable, I think how he is portrayed in this movie is really satisfying, because, you know, I do have my thoughts on this as a movie as a whole, but when it comes to the Vader turn, I think that that's probably the most satisfying and best element of this movie. So I really like how he was handled. What about you?
Yeah, I as much as I just dunked on him a bit, I think that the writing for Vader was pretty much perfect throughout this. And like, yeah, he is in a different place than he was in the last movie. Like in the last movie, he was very much the aggressor and only sort of realizes that Luke is his son throughout, you know? Yeah. Whereas this one, he does have a different goal in mind of getting Luke onto his side from the rip, you know? I feel like if
you will, I feel like he is trying to use the excuse of like, I'm totally wanting to keep him alive so we can totally bring him over to the dark side. Like he's just using that as an excuse. Like he hasn't actually, it feels like he hasn't thought it through the whole way. It's like he knows deep down that he wants to bring Luke over to the dark side, literally just to keep him alive. He hasn't really thought it that far ahead, I feel like.
I like that interpretation. I like that. Moving on to the other big bad, the Emperor. I pretty much love everything, because like the thing is, I forgot throughout this series how late an addition the Emperor really is. Like, is it a little bit, but
I completely
for him to be in this, for him to be in this one so late in the series as a prominent figure, he steals the show for me whenever he's on screen.
And it actually works, unlike another trilogy in this universe,
where the Emperor also comes back in the third movie.
Oh, the dead speak.
It highlighted something. As much as I do love Vader, it did make me sort of want more Emperor in other previous movies, but at the same time, it was done so well that it's not a strong complaint. It's just like, it's almost like it's a yearning. It's a deep yearning from my pelvis. Just saying, oh, I want more of that.
I yearn for the palps. Yeah.
Give me some more palpy palps.
He's also sassy in this movie. He's always like scolding Luke, and even Vader is just like, Oh God, this guy's such a dick. Luke, just go along with it. He's always like this. Just don't worry about him.
Just it's the older sibling trying to shut the younger sibling up. Just like, oh,
this fucking
Dad's gonna do this. Just play along.
He'll fucking bust your balls, but you just gotta be nice to him so you can keep getting paid, all right? This is what you gotta do around here.
Yeah. Okay. Going forth, let's look at some side characters.
Ooh.
Dude, I love Jabba the Hutt. I got a little... I had to do some research into this, because like as soon as I noticed the puppet, the big animatronic bad boy, I was like, how did they do... this is extracurricular research I do just for this show. This is just for you.
Oh,
I did this just for
Unlike
you
did at school, which you famously didn't finish.
How do you keep telling
I don't
people
know why I project onto you this narrative that you never finished high school, but not only did you finish high school, you went to uni, and guess what? I didn't finish high school. I didn't finish high school
I forgot
twice.
that. I've had the best return. Oh no, I've had the best return this whole time.
Back to me just as much, dude.
Dude, I've been taking this like rolling over this whole time.
Like a good boy.
Yeah, and I completely forgot. Hey, you bitch! Like, I've got a bachelor. Get your grade 12 certificate. Damn it! Oh, this has been going on for weeks. And I've been scratching my head at night, going, "How do I get him back for this? It's simply too good."
Why I order?
Okay. My little extracurricular research. It took 6 puppeteers to make Jabba the Hutt work.
Holy
one
shit,
in each arm.
really?
Yeah, there was. If you look at like a X-ray, there is people galore all throughout this big guy. They've got one in each of the arms. Yeah. Guess what? They hired some people and they did some things, and you can't even see them. They're behind the scenes.
That's movie magic.
But they had one dude in each arm operating his respective arm, parts of the head and the tongue. Another dude in the tail moving the tail. Another one below the whole thing in the bottom bit to move his mouth. And 2 radio operators for each eye, and this was crazy for me. Each eye, both controlling dilation, direction, and the eyelids. Dilation
Jesus
is crazy.
fucking Christ, they had that technology back then?
That's what shocked me. I had to Google it twice. I even Bing searched it. But no, this I won't spend too much time on Jabba the Hutt other than I love this, and it's just a feat that it looks so good practically. I absolutely love this.
It's a feat for a Hutt that doesn't have any feet.
Yeah, do you have any side characters that you just couldn't get enough of?
I'm just gonna let us sit in silence after that.
After I said all that shit about Jabba the Hutt.
Yep. Unlike Empire, I probably don't have as much to say about the side characters, because anyone that was introduced in the last movie, I think for the most part, has a great continuation, except for Boba Fett, which later has been not retconned but fixed with modern Disney era Star Wars. But back then, that was the most unsatisfying, unceremonious killing of a character.
Dude, yeah, he's literally fodder. He's really the Knights of Ren of the original trilogy.
Oh, don't get me started about the Knights of Ren, dude.
But he just looks cool and he does jack shit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I used to think Boba Fett was cool. He's a nerd in this. Oh, damn it.
Yeah,
I'm sad about Knights of Ren. Anyway, so continue.
You know what makes me sad? Unrelated, but it makes me sad thinking about... Have you heard about the Ben Solo movie that Disney said no to?
No. Oh, I haven't heard the details, but
yeah,
it's like it was a thing.
It's like Adam Driver or someone pitched this movie, and then apparently it was like, wow, this is like really cool. It's the backstory of like Ben Solo and all that stuff, and Disney was just like, nah, sorry.
Cut to me in the rain, ripping my shirt and screaming at the sky,
turning into a wolf. No, but as for the other characters, I find this movie actually hard to talk about because I can't.
I wonder where this is going. I just get so turned
it just plays on the heartstrings, man. No, I feel like everyone is in the right place and positioned correctly in this movie. I think you get scenes like the sail barge and Jabba's palace and all that. Jabba the Hutt is getting choked out by Slave Leia, and then you've got Han and Chewie.
See, strong female character. She gets hers back. Anyway.
Yeah. She chokes that bitch out, but
she's so hard.
Then Luke is like cutting people up on the sail barge. Like, it does such a good job at balancing all of these different characters and the chaos of these conflicts, which I think is really great. But as for characterization, I feel like there's nothing really new that's added outside of Luke. I think that they really just narrowed down on Luke and Vader, and they're the main ones. And the only real new implementation I felt like was the presence of the Emperor, which was just amazing. And then you have like a couple of tiny characters here and there, like Admiral Akbar and all that shit. But outside of that, it's just tunnel vision on Luke, Vader, and then maybe a bit of the Emperor.
I'm inclined to agree 100% with everything that you said there. I do think that it does hyper focus on everything going on with Emperor Darth and Luke, and to be honest, those are the highlights of the movie. I think this is the only reason this movie really, really works. There is something I do want to get to at the end of the movie because I've got a lot of big thoughts, big brain thoughts, my big juicy brain. But there are still some things along the journey that I do really like, so I might focus on those before I get to the big slam dunk at the end of the piece.
Sure.
Jabba's palace, that's fun.
Yeah.
Everything in Jabba's palace is so fun.
Except
I really
for one
think
scene.
of it. Which scene?
The fucking music note.
Oh,
every time I watch that shit, dude, I want to fucking put a gun in my mouth. Like, I see that.
You don't think she's sort of hot?
Which one?
That one.
Yeah, like no, just all of it is just fucking atrocious. Like, I hated it when I was a kid, and I hate it even more now. It's
fair.
fucking annoying. It gets under my skin, but everything else is great.
Well, I've got a pitch.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember Mos Eisley Cantina Sunny in Philadelphia show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Season finale is here.
Fucking oath, dude. I even thought to myself, I'm like, this movie incorporated that Mos Eisley feel with Jabba's palace that it was sorely lacking with the last movie. I'm so glad it's here.
We need filthy little gambling Vegas cesspits. Like, we need that.
You know what I want? I want an episode where it's like, you know how obviously the Rancor dies, and then the fucking Rancor owner, like, first of all, F in the chat for the Rancor, and also as a dog dad, my deepest condolences to the Rancor owner. That poor guy just needed a hug. He just came in, he's crying, and I just want like an episode where it's like the gang cheers up that guy. No.
If we're going full Sunny in Philadelphia, there'll be like some weird subplot where it's actually the gang's fault that the Rancor died. Like, Luke didn't actually hit the button right, and it's Danny DeVito, and he's trying to flirt up the singer from the band, and he's hit something.
They're the ones
finds themselves in Jabba's Rancor pit.
They're the ones who accidentally dropped the gate on its head.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. All right. Moving away from Jabba, it's something that I almost forgot was in this movie, but it's so obvious, is Yoda's death.
Oh, dude.
That's
low.
I don't know if it's just seeing old people pass away from age or something. I actually got like emotional at this scene, and I don't really feel emotions much anymore. So I think maybe it's been this movie that's been roadblocking it for me.
I think kind of touching on what you were talking about with the enormity of the effort that went into Jabba and the puppeteering and like his, I don't want to say costume, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, the animatronics and stuff like that. The puppeteering and the animatronics that what went into the visual effects of Yoda is so amazing. The fact that whoever's acting as Yoda and what we're seeing really conveys such emotion. We still feel like that punch in the gut when he's dying. I think that's really impressive. Yeah,
I'm hustling at the bit to get into my hot take. I'm looking at my notes. I'm sweating. Do you have anything else to say before I really just dunk on this?
Okay, so I guess when it comes to like Yoda and then Ben Kenobi, it's like Yoda tells Luke when he's like dying, he's like, oh, you know, it's so unfortunate that you had to confront Vader because now you know the truth. Anyway, I'm going to die now. By the way, while I'm dying, here's another bomb that I'm about to drop in your lap. By the way, your sister is Leia. Bye. And then just dies.
Yeah,
and then
they suck for that.
Yeah, and then fucking Kenobi comes around, and it's just like, he's got that ultimate... Yeah, dude, he's got that ultimate F-boy gaslight energy. He's just like, damn, Luke, I don't know what to tell you. I was telling you the truth about your dad, but only from a certain point of view, so... Don't get mad at me.
You've said that to some ex-girlfriends before, haven't you? It's true from a certain point of view. If you really think about it like this, babe.
If you really think about it, it's your fault from a certain point of view. You know? All
right. I'm brimming at the bit.
Yeah, go for it. You're about to blow. I can see it.
Oh, okay. I don't hate Endor, but delete it from the movie. Like I've got two planets that I think would be better than Endor and the Ewoks, because I don't really enjoy the Ewoks. I'll start with
the Ewoks, dude.
Yeah, I'll start my lesser of the two.
Okay.
Because I want to focus on my better one. But I'll just quickly say, hey, how about instead of Endor, it's Kashyyyk. You can still have like the rainforest vibe, but instead of Ewoks, we have Wookiees, and then it makes sense. Cool. We get some more character development for Han and Chewie to actually do. We could explore how Chewie became Han's friend, and it makes more sense for Wookiees to take on the Empire than little tiny Ewok people. You know, like that makes more sense for me as a series. But that's my lesser of the two planets. Do you have any thoughts quickly on Kashyyyk instead of Endor?
All I'll say is that you're not going to sell as many plush toys of Wookiees as you would with Ewoks, Cam. So
just make
cute
cheeky little Ewoks. I mean Wookiees or whatever. Like just make them cute.
Obviously just pulling your dick, but I 100% agree. I cannot stand the direction. It feels like, and I guess that's why I haven't even referenced it, because anything that happens on Endor outside of
skippable,
I don't know, the fucking defense of the shield generator, all that stuff that like Han and all that are doing, the movie screeches to a halt for me. And like, it's probably my attention span, but I understand that they're trying to do this like stealthy mission or whatever, but it's just slow and boring to me. And I feel like I wish they didn't introduce the Ewoks because I didn't care about them. And I agree, if you're pitching that they did this with the Wookiees on Kashyyyk, oh man, I would have loved that way more.
Are you ready for my better planet?
Oh no, okay. Planet. Oh, that's right, you had a second one. All right, hit me.
Yeah, I have a second one. I wish even more that it was just Tatooine. I've got some thoughts. Here we go.
Ooh,
so you know how Leia connects? Yeah. So you don't get the rainforest thing. Forget about that. Forget about that. It's a circle.
The shield generator is the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Oh, we can have them back. Yeah, okay. I didn't even have that. But yeah, let's go. Yeah. The gang breaks down the shield generator. No, okay. So if it's Tatooine, we still get some of the similar beats. So Leia hasn't been there yet. And so she can have that connection to the locals like she does with the Ewoks initially. You could even still have C-3PO somehow, with hopefully some good writing, be hailed as a god, and that would complete his arc a little bit, or at least give him an arc from slave when he was first on Tatooine to hailed as a god. That would be interesting. That's something you could write around. Could have had more aliens than just the Ewoks. You could have Jawas, and you could have this community that Anakin never had that Luke now has access to, because you could have the who are the other ones, the Tuskens, and like you could just introduce more, because we only really got Ewoks on that planet. And also, okay, so if you think maybe it doesn't make sense for Vader to put the shield generator on Tatooine because he hates sand, it wasn't Vader's decision, it was the Emperor, and is already trying to sort of low-key replace Vader with Luke, so it's sort of like a fuck you to Vader, and like it's sort of Sithy, in like I think it just works on so many levels, and it makes the trilogy story a round beat sort of story. You end up back on Tatooine, and it just gives that a lot more stakes. I find that infinitely more interesting than a new rainforest planet with little furry guys that are forgettable and I do not enjoy.
Well, look, as much as I hate how much this series hangs around Tatooine, with the hindsight of 9 movies, I'm sick to fucking death of Tatooine. I hate looking at it. I hate sand. It's everywhere. I'm looking at it and I'm like, let's get off this planet as soon as possible. However, that being said,
bit where you say you like my idea.
but from the original trilogy perspective, I actually think it would have been really cool if they went back. Oh, well, they did go back to Tatooine at the start of the movie, Jabba's palace.
End it there.
Okay.
The rebels then don't even need to leave. You just have a space battle above Tatooine and Luke goes off to the Death Star to do his whole thing.
Sure, why not?
Because they've already killed their threat on Tatooine. So why are they really... Whatever, you can write around these things. Anyway, that's my little hot take. Do you have any last thoughts before we get into our verdict?
Overall, this movie does a really great job. Well, it does what a sequel and a finale to a trilogy should do. I think it raised the stakes and the scope of the story. So you really feel like this fight is it. What Luke is trying to do, this is it. What the rebels are trying to do, like, you know, basically the Empire's just like, oh, wow, you blew up our Death Star? Ooh, it'd be a shame if we started building another one, am I right, everybody? And then, you know, the Rebel Alliance is like, well, we've got to shut that shit down. And it really does feel like this is our final fight. And I think that as far as that goes, this movie did a really great job. And I feel like we haven't really touched on that. And the last thing I wanted to quickly say is with Vader and having the funeral, you know, his turn to good, the execution and the ending, how Luke and Vader ended on a really good note at the end of the movie. I thought that was really special.
Yeah, I'll sort of start hitting into elements of my verdict here, but
yeah, sure.
I think everything with Jabba's stuff was sick, except for, you know, some little things that we talked about, like Boba Fett and the music note. I think a lot of that stuff was just jaw-dropping, great way to open the movie. I've something we haven't really talked much about, but I'll just blitz over, is I really love all the Star Wars, like the fights in space sort of stuff, like all the rebel ship designs. was amazing, great work. That was all really good. We already know I didn't really enjoy Endor much, and that is a large part of this movie, but whatever. But I think the highlight of this movie, and a great thing for the third act, is literally everything to do with the final battle and the final temptation or temptation of Luke between Vader, the Emperor, and Luke on the Death Star.
Oh, 100%.
That is some of the best cinema. And I was like, I've watched this movie, I don't know how many times, but it's every single time I watch it, it's the same emotions as the first time. Like, yeah, it's just one of those perfectly written things.
Yeah, and how Luke is just choosing, he's just like, nah, I'm not going to fight you. Like, throws his lightsaber. I'm like, that's fucking badass.
And that is the hopeful hero, and is really one of the first ones to really do that sort of thing. And Darth, even throughout, even the fight, initially his angle is, I'm desperate to get Luke to join our side. Luke is going to join our side, and I'm still under Emperor's wing. But seeing him slowly sort of turn throughout the fight to back Luke's side, I think it's just it's a perfect way to end that part of the movie. And I guess like the main character's journey. I think that's absolutely amazing. So let's get into absolute final thoughts. Does this movie still hold up? Because we have said some good things and bad things.
As far as this movie holding up, on a technical level, it does. I just think that out of the so yes, I think it does. But out of the three movies, I feel like this is the least watchable one or rewatchable one out of the three. Yeah. I just didn't enjoy rewatching it as much as I really enjoyed the other movies. I think that being the finale in a trilogy, it's a really tough spot because you basically have to wrap up all of these open threads. And I think that this movie did a really good job of that. It's just that maybe I just didn't really feel that it was as exciting as I would have hoped. What about you?
Yeah, I think even though it has like its weak points, I think it's still a great movie and it still definitely holds up. But if we are comparing it to the other two, this is a little bit of a disappointing note, because you do want the ending of such an epic trilogy to be not easily decided as the worst of the three.
Yeah.
But for me, I just feel like, you know, the first one, our first entrance to a lot of this stuff, and the journey's just starting. And then the second one, I love the bad guys winning at the end, and it's just almost a perfect movie throughout. Whereas this one, I think during this conversation, this is the most we've had to say on a pros/cons list.
Yeah.
For any of this. Okay, real quick, out of the trilogy, which one is the best? Well, just give me the title.
Empire Strikes Back.
No, I was gonna 3-2-1 it.
Yeah,
it's Empire Strikes Back. Because it's Empire Strikes Back. It definitely is Empire Strikes Back. All right, well, that has been our review of the Orig Tridge. Stay tuned next week, because me and Lennon are going to look at the Cornetto trilogy.
Yay!
So the first one on the list for that is Shaun of the Dead.
God, I can't wait to watch this movie again.
We should have done that in October.
Yeah, well, you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah, whatever. Fugazi, forget about it. We're doing Shaun of the Dead. Yippee-ki-yay.